Alright, what's up everybody? I am Geek for Code, coming at you with a C# tutorial featuring beautiful code. Now I don't know about you, but I love to code and I love to learn. So let's go ahead and get started and hopefully we'll learn together. This is it everybody, the final piece of our MVVM journey. Now today we'll be wiring up the view with the view model that we created in the last video. So after we get this done, we will have a complete application that is built entirely around MVVM, which means there is only one thing left to do after this. We have to demo our finished application. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our application and finish up our beautiful code. Now, I'm starting right into the main window XAML file or UI. So there are a couple ways that you can wire up. You can start out wiring up your view. Your view needs the data context. Which the data context is the object that all the information your view is going to be pulling from. And so you can either set it from the code behind, or you can set it within XAML itself. I personally like to set it in XAML, so that's what I'm going to do. So right now, let's go ahead and set up our XAML to have a local instance of our view model. So up at the top in window, I am going to go ahead and declare, I'm going to call it VM. And I'm going to essentially name it this right here is essentially the same thing as local. So I'm going to copy what local is and paste it. But I'm also going to say I'm going to direct it towards our view model. So after that, what we can do is come down here and we can say window.dataContext. And our data context is going to be set to our view model, which our view model is called information VM. So we are going to say VM, and it's going to automatically pull up our information VM because it's pointed to the view model folder. And there we have it. That is how we set up the data context. Okay, so this part is going to be very simple. So whatever is in the property that is in the view model, that is what you are going to use. That's what we're going to use for all of our text box binding. So when we go, let's go ahead and check inside of our view model. Let's go up. We have the public property of our model for our user interface information, which stores all of the data for our user information. So we call that information. So inside of our XAML, when we go into let's go into our first text box, into the first name text box, we are going to say the text of this. We are going to have bracket. We are going to say binding. And then we are going to say information, which is the public property that is on our view model. We're going to say information dot first name. And as you can see over here, it binds the first name property to this text box. And then next, we are going to say mode equals two-way. Now what this does, the two-way mode allows the UI to be notified when the text box changes, and it also allows it also allows the property itself to be notified when it changes. So we are going to bind the information.firstName. We're going to have a mode equals two-way, and we are going to do that for each text box that we have. So down here for our last name, we're going to copy and paste that, and then but we're going to change this to last name. We're going to go down here to phone number, And instead of first name, we're going to change that to phone number. Going to go down to email. Do the same thing to email. And then city. Do the same thing to city. And then the last text box, we are going to say, call it state. So, as you can see over here on the left, each text box, it shows the property that each text box is bounded to. So the first name is first name, last name is last name, phone number, email, city, and state. So now that we have our text box, all of our text boxes bounded to the correct property. Now let's go down to the button. The button is going to be a little bit different than the binding of the text box. The button has an actual command. So the command that so let's jump over to our VM. Within our VM, you remember from the other video, we created a public delegate command for our button. This is where that comes into play. And we named it show user info. So inside of our commands, inside of our button, we are going to say command. We're going to say bracket binding, and then we are going to bind it to the show user info property that is a delegate command. And then the last but not least, we need to bind the status bar display. Let's jump back over to our view model. Now, as you can remember, we created a public property for the status bar display, which we named status bar display. So, but you just can't bind it on the status bar. You have to create either text box inside of the status bar, or what I wanted to do is just go ahead and create a text block inside of that. So inside of this text block, I'm going to say the width of this is going to be 390. The height of this is going to be 90. And I'm going to make sure it has text wrapping. So if it gets too far outside of the width, it'll go ahead and wrap to the second line. I'm going to say wrap. I'm going to go ahead and pull this down and this down. And then lastly, we are going to say text. We are going to bind text to the public property of the status bar display. And as you can see over here, it says status bar display. And that's it. That is it, everybody. We have completely wired up our view with our view model. So the last thing to do is demo. We have to check it out. We have to run it to make sure it works. So let's go ahead and run our application. We're going to wait a little bit while it compiles and builds, and here we go. We have our application. So let's say our first name is first, our last name is last, our phone number is 0000-123-1234, and then our email is going to be email@gmail.com. Our city is going to be city, and our state is going to be state. Now, when we hit the show information button, what we should see here is the formatted string text that we created on the view model. So let's go ahead and press show information, and then there we have it. We have first name is first, last name is last, phone number is 000-123-1234, email is email@email.com, city is city, and state is state. So what happens if we want to go ahead and say first name is, let's say, Visual Studio? Will that work? Will we be able to change the property on the fly? Well, let's go ahead and change the first name and show information, and there you have it. We are allowed to, on the fly, change the property of what that is. And the reason we're able to do that is, if you remember in 2 videos ago, we created the on property changed. whenever this property gets changed, the mode of the two-way and the on-property change work together to notify the UI and to notify the property itself that it has changed. So let's say last name will be let's say computer. Let's say I want to change the phone number to 5678, and let's say I want to change this email to, let's use the Hotmail, and then city. Let's say city is going to be window, and states is going to be title, and then show information. And then as you can see, everything down below has changed to what we have changed up here. So let's go ahead and end this. I'm going to stop debugging. And there we go. There you have it. We have completed an entire MVVM application. We have created the model. We have created the view. We created a delegate command object. We created our on-property changed, so all of our properties will know when they have changed. We created our view model that was bound to the view to have the view know what information it should display. So there you have it. We are completely done and finished. And as you can see, we have beautiful code. The structure of our view is beautiful. Everything is organized. Everything is there. There you have it, folks. All right. It is beautiful and it is complete. I want to go ahead and thank everybody for watching. I'm hoping this improved your coding knowledge. I'm definitely hoping that this entire tutorial series that we've been going through for MVVM, I'm sorry, has hopefully improved your knowledge. I hope I was able to explain it thoroughly in a way for everybody to completely understand it. I want to say, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you have any comments at all, ways that I did anything, please comment, let me know. Also, if you have anything that you want me to make a video about, make a tutorial about, anything that you're struggling with when it comes to C#, let me know, and I can hopefully put a video for you together. Because as you know, as everybody knows, we are here because we want to expand our love of code, and we want to expand our knowledge of code. So I want to go ahead and thank everybody for watching. Thank you.